Hi everyone, this is Anna from Koala Soap, and today we're going to do kind of a repeat of a soap I did several years ago, and I will leave the link probably in the first comment below just because that might be easier for people to find. We're going to use our paper Solvay, which is a water-soluble paper. I use it in my regular inkjet printer, so that's that. Just so you know, I let it dry, or sit, not dry. I let it sit for about 24 hours. I usually don't have a problem doing it within an hour, but I have a lot of red in this design. And so let me show you, I accidentally, so I put this in Photoshop, I found these little clip arts in Etsy, and I thought, but you know, I really wasted paper here. I could actually have done at least two. I did do 3 rows, and I've already cut them out just so we know what we're doing. The problem with doing them this close together is I'm going to show you in the soap. What I learned last time, and you'll see it in the last video too, is I cut one that was really close to the design itself, and then I cut 2 that were about the size of the soap. And how I did that was I just took some old clear melt and pour soap that I had. I lined it up on the design. See, now when they're this close, you'll cut into the next design. So I would maybe do 2 rows, and that way you can you know, have enough room to cut. Unless you like it this way, the really close way, and I will show you that. One of the things I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to put the glitter on, but you have to be really careful with this. We're going to use crystal clear melt and pour soap base. Then we're going to use shea butter melt and pour soap base. I'm going to do 3 soaps, and the reason is because I have 3 designs here. So what we're going to do is I've already cut out the designs. They've actually, because I'm in the middle of teaching, you guys know I'm an instructor for nurses, and I've been backed up. We have finals coming up, and you know, some of these kids are, you know, they're getting a little nervous. Now I found these graphics on Etsy because I wanted to make these cups, and I make these for my neighbors, and it's, you know, basically it's a fake whipped cream cup. I don't have any videos on this yet, but I'm so proud of this. And so basically I use this on it's not water soluble, it's water slide paper, and I make the cups that way. But regardless, I decided to reuse the graphics, you know, the more the better. We're going to be using grape soda as our scent today, which smells really good. We have about a total of, I think about 14 to 16 ounces here, because I wasn't quite sure. We really don't want to pour this too hot or too cold. This is our most important one. We're going to pour a little bit into the cavity. We're going to set our design. We're going to put it inside. We're going to take the skewer. I'm describing everything now in case construction starts or the dogs go crazy or kids come home. What we're going to do after we put a little bit of crystal clear melt and pour, not a lot, okay? Then once it dries, I'm going to put skewer marks. Well, I'm going to put the paper in there, make sure it's in there. Then I'm going to make skewer marks behind the paper. That way you don't see it. And the reason we do the skewer is because it helps the next layer adhere once it's dry. So after I do put the clear melt and pour in, put the graphic on top of it, let it dry a little bit. I'm going to try on this littler one. I'm going to put glitter around it, and we'll see how it works. The next layer has to be white. It has to be white because those graphics, you won't be able to see them too well if it's not white. Then after that, we can do, we're going to do Stardust mica. I actually have a red mica coming, believe it or not. It's just not here yet. I've been waiting to do this video, but it still hasn't come. So we're going to do the red strawberry and the teal green. We're going to keep it to holiday colors here. So I think I described everything just in case I can't talk a little bit later. So let's get started. Our crystal clear melt and pour is melted. I think I did 10-second spurts, and I think it took a total of probably 30 seconds to do it. It is right now at 165, which is a little hot, but we're absolutely not going to add anything to this layer to this soap, so it's okay to pour in these 3 cavities now. We are going to put our graphics in after we get a new temp on this. So once you pour this in, you don't want to disturb it. There's absolutely no no scent, no glitter, no colorant, nothing. Okay, so that's how we're going to start. So we're going to pour a little bit in, and just enough to cover the bottom. We want our design as close to the top as possible. And I hope I have enough for 3. This was a little hard to gauge. Okay, so we have a little bit left over, and that's okay. Now with the alcohol, we are still going to squirt with alcohol, but we really don't want to add our design. We're going to give it just a quick second because I don't know how alcohol is going to react with the printer ink. So right now, without me disturbing it, we're at 134, 133, 133. Okay, so what we're going to do is we will grab these. I'm just hoping the alcohol is gone. I just don't want it to ruin the design. Now I tried to cut these as close as possible. I think I can cut this one a little bit more. If you're not good at cutting like me, I would use a paper cutter. There. Let's see. Okay, and when you put the paper in, how I do it, there's other ways of doing it, I'm absolutely sure. I kind of dig it under. Use a skewer, just make sure that it's in there. Okay, it's cooling down pretty fast. Again, if you're like me and your cutting is just not the best, please use a paper cutter, unless you don't care. It's up to you. And then this is the short one, so, and I think I want it to be, it's going to fit this way best. Okay. Now the only issue with this one is I also want to make sure it kind of stays in the middle. And that one, I could feel it was touching the absolute bottom. I don't want it that close. So this one wants to float over there a little bit. This one I just want to make sure. Okay, and then we have a little bit on top, just a little, not a lot. We just kind of want to make sure that this gets covered. Now there's a few really fun things you can do. Oh, see, that wants to float away. Okay, we're going to play with that one for a little bit. The good news is this crystal clear, actually all glycerin, the ones I use anyway, they like to cool down really fast. Okay, I don't really want to disturb it too much, but I do want to make sure that anything you do behind the design is actually okay. It's not going to show through. Now, the next layer has to be white. So once these are dry, we'll come back and I'm going to take this skewer and I'm going to make hatch marks right here, anywhere where the design is, okay? And then here. And then we're going to pour a little bit of white on. Now one of the things I wanted to try, I have a glove here, is I'm going to try a little bit of glitter around that. I don't know if it's going to migrate. This one's the one I'm thinking will maybe not work out, but that's okay, and that's because I cut it short, where it's not like end to end. But one of the things I thought about was putting glitter around it. Not a lot, but so I thought that would be cute. But if it migrates to behind the design, yeah, see, I put a little bit too much right there. Okay, so we're going to let these dry, then we'll come back and we're going to pour our shea butter. Okay, this now has a skin on it, and this is, we'll look at it in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pointy end of this skewer, and behind the paper, I'm going to make hatch marks. Okay, and so what we're going to do after that is we're going to spray this with alcohol. That's also going to help with the adhering. This is already getting a skin, so I'll be curious to see what this is. It's at 141, but we have a skin. I think we're okay. I am not going to add this fragrance to this because this is yellow, has a yellow tint to it, and I don't want to turn this yellow. I will add it to over here though, no problem. I'm really hoping that that covers. There you go, come on. Okay, let's spray this with alcohol again. We're going to wait for this to set. We're going to go ahead and I think in maybe a minute or two I'll go ahead and I will get these melted, and then I will add the scent. I'll show you how yellow this looks. That's why I wanted to do it to the back ends, because it's going to be a red and green. It'll hide it. Okay, so let's let this set. We're going to do hatch marks again, and the reason we're doing hatch marks is to help it adhere. So, and you're not going to see that, so we're good. Okay, so let's get these melted and this set a little bit, and then we'll go on to our next step. Okay, so this is set. We're going to go ahead and do a skewering here in hatch marks. Try to do it in the middle. Don't do it too hard. You don't want to stab through the picture. And now what we'll do is we'll pour our alcohol. You know, I probably should have used glycerin for that red strawberry, but the point will be the same. What I wanted to do, what would have been really neat, is if I made it striped, like I could do a layer red and a layer green. But I don't think I have enough room. I would have to use a different mold, I think, to do that. But it's a thought. Okay, so there's our red strawberry, and then I'm just going to have you watch me mix it real quick. Okay, so I had a little bit of green left. I actually threw some of the clear melt and pour in there too. So over the red I have a little bit of a gap here, so I'm going to make hatch marks here. We're going to spray with alcohol, and this is at 133 right now. So we'll go ahead and pour. Okay, we will wait and see what the old molding looks like. Okay, I'm back. These are pretty set here. Yeah, we'll do this one first. This is the one, the little one. Okay, and I guess I dumped some glitter there. Now the issue here, and it may not be an issue for you, is I can see the outline of where the paper ends, and that's the only reason why I don't like doing this one. But the sides look really good too, so that's actually pretty cool. So there's that. And this just had the green, we didn't have any red there. Really didn't have any room to do that. And this has the green and red. And as you can see, because the paper's towards the end, you really can't see. First of all, you can't see the score lines, and you can't really see the end of the paper. Now what some people will do, and I'm going to do it on this one because I already know that, this is probably, actually I like it more than I thought I would. But some people will take their wave cutter and they will just cut it on the end. Okay, so it looks really cute. The issue for me is I'm not really a straight cutter if I don't have the right tool. So I'm going to cut this, and it may not be perfect, but I put my disclaimer out there for you guys. And it actually really adds to the soap, right? So that don't put your fingers all over this. If you do, just get some alcohol, spray a little paper towel and wipe it, and then you'll get your fingerprints off. But that's actually really cute. The other thing that people will do is, I got this off of Etsy. I really can't find a good one on Amazon, or I would put the link there, but I just don't see it. This takes some getting used to. So you're going to take the soap, you're going to slide it here, and under Etsy I think you would look under planer, P-L-A-N-E-R. I use the circular, but it really takes some getting used to here. And basically you just do all four corners, and I'm getting better at it. I am not perfect at it. Now you probably really can't tell the difference, but it does add to the soap. And then of course you would do the back side too. The back side probably needs it more than the front side. But it's easy to do once you get the hang of it. It just takes a little while to get the hang of it. But it does look nice. It's a nice beveled edge. So because I put my fingers all over everything here, what you're going to do is you're going to take some alcohol. Well, hold on, I'll show you. A little bit of alcohol. Actually, I can't see my fingerprints. I just know they're there and it bugs me. And then you're just going to wipe it down, just like this. Now, one of the questions I had in the last video I did on this several years ago was, how long did these run at all? No, they did not. There's a lot of reds in here, and I purposely let it sit. Actually, this video was supposed to be done like a week ago, but because of all the other stuff that we're doing, it's just taking forever. And a year later, and if you remember on that video, I think I did red roses, some blue flowers, and parrots. None of the colors ran after 6 months. My mom refused to use the soap because it was so pretty. So I know from experience they never ran. I have to tell you though, looking at this is my favorite, even though I didn't cut this the way I wanted to. I think that's what I'm going to do here. So you can bevel the edges, but what's even really neat, look guys, you see this? This, I don't know, we can make some kind of embed out of these. So you could do that too. I mean, those are really cool looking. We'll figure something out. But I actually think I'm going to cut one of these. I'm going to try to get a little bit more accurate with my edges there. But I think I'm going to cut one of these and then we'll do the photo for the thumbnail. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and I will see you guys next week.